Hello, this is Sharon again. I'm back with the next thing that you need to start on if you're a beginner, which are the pillowcases. You get 2 in a set. I'm going to show you how to do this. You're going to get a big piece of fabric like this. Selvages, do you know what selvages are on your fabric when you buy them? That's going to be your clean finished edge, or unfinished in this case. It's very fuzzy. It's a manufacturer's edge on your fabric, which is usually always lengthwise. This is crosswise. And if you do it on a complete 45, this is your true bias, which always stretches. We do have a kit that offers bias, so I'm going to touch on that now. The Sew and Go kits come in all levels for all experience levels. Everything comes in it. You're not going to need to buy anything. You're going to need a sewing machine. Okay, back to the pillowcases. When you do this, again, my instructions are illustrations. On your pillowcase, you're going to make your heading, which is always at the top of the pillow. This is the one I have finished. It's always 4 inches, and it's at the top of the, I hope you can see that. See right here, 4 inches. Okay, that's your pillowcase heading is what this is called. And it's also a hem. We talked about a hem before. This is a hem. Now to get your pillowcase heading, your standard is about 1 inch. You turn it in 1 inch. You can use a ruler. I can eyeball this. Turn it in 1 inch. If you want to use an iron and press this, it will make it very easy to fold and turn and sew again. After you turn it up 1 inch, then you're going to go and do another 4 inches. There's your heading right there. Now, when you get ready to stitch your heading, you want your stitches to be as close to this edge because you want to hold the edge down. So you would put your stitches in here. Now, some information that's good to know. Pins, how do you pin it? I'm right-handed, so there are 2 ways you can do this for a right-hander. You can put your pins in so that the heads are facing you, because it makes it easy to take the pins out when you start sewing. Or you can do them straight up and down and put your pins going towards the bottom because you're sewing towards you. Now if you're left-handed, you might want to put your pins in, and I am not left-handed, this way with the heads facing to the left so that you can pull them out very easily. Straight up and down also works good whether you're left-handed or right-handed. The more you sew, the easier this will get to you, and it'll just become second nature. You automatically know how to put all the pins in. Second thing, when you get ready to start sewing on this and you put it under your machine, okay, you don't, on all machines this space in here is very limited. So when you sew, you always want to put all of your excess fabric on the left of the machine. So when you start sewing it, you're going to put it in this way, which is why the pins go this way. For me, I would pull them out as I got to it. Left-handed, you'd pull them out this way. So you'd sew your seam down. After you get your seam sewed down, if you wanted to go back and do your decorative stitches, you would see your top stitch from here. Then you could go back on the top side, and again you want to turn your material this way because you want your excess on the outside always. Keeps it from getting tangled up in here, and it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to drive it and handle it. That's my word, my drive. You put it in, and then you could do, any of these stitches. You could do a blue and a turquoise. You could do a darker shade and do 3 or 4, even just zigzag stitches, and it's going to look fabulous. You could always embroider initials up here. You could put trim on here. You could do whatever you wanted to. You would do this before you put it together. Now, when you get ready to start putting it together, again, you've already sewed your heading. So then you want to put your selvages together. And again, that is your finished edge on your fabric. You would put these together. Now, because there is a selvage, I usually try to sew beyond the selvage edge, which generally, so you can see the line right there, I would stitch it here. Right down here, because you don't want to sew into your selvage. You would sew straight down and across the bottom, and when you sew across the bottom, you want to sew into your fold, not the other way around, because when you fold into your fold, it's always going to turn out perfect. If you start here and go this direction, you could end up with a bunch. So start here and sew into your fold, and again when you sewed it, you would go this direction. All your excess fabric on the left, which is going to make it easy. And then when you get done, you just turn it right side out, and you're good to go. And also a thing that you can, don't forget, back stitch at the top, which means you want to drive it backwards and forwards a couple of times, because this is going to be a stress point. So, meaning it's going to get a lot of pull when you put your pillow in and out and in and out. You want to make sure and back stitch right here. And if you're really good and you do your top stitching, your line will go straight across. Then you know you did a perfect job. But again, it's a canvas. Make it your own. Decorate it. Do whatever you want to with it. These are great gifts for children. Perfect for kids. The other one that I offer is my satin pillowcase. Okay, satin is tricky. It's slippery. You will need a fine point needle. The smaller the number, the finer the point, like a 9 or an 11. And on this one, well, I'm going to show you how to do the zipper. I would sew the zipper to your edge, appendage, and then I would flip it over so that the teeth are exposed. If you don't want your teeth exposed, cover it. Do a lapped application. Me, it's going to be easier if you just sew and the teeth show. It's going to be a much, much easier way to do it. If you can't master a zipper, request the Velcro. Turn it under, put your heading in there, a small heading, and do your buttons and buttonholes. But whatever treatment you decide to use on your pillowcase for your closure, you want to make sure and do that first. And on this one, after you put your zipper in, you would sew straight down on either side. And again, you want to sew into your fold and not the other direction. And you would turn it right side out. And you've got a satin pillowcase. You could monogram it, you could applique it. We have appliques available in the accessory department. There are several of them in there. You know, make it your own.